Read it. The man at table 12 pushed a cream-colored envelope toward her. Mari Reyes glanced at it, then at him. "I'm sorry, sir?" He leaned back. "You heard me." 3 people at the table were already watching her. 2 men, 1 woman, all dressed like people who had never worried about the price of dinner. Mari picked up an empty wine glass. "I'm working, sir." "I know." His finger tapped the envelope once. "Read it." She looked down again. There was no company logo, no return address, only 2 things, her name and a handwritten signature. Mari stopped breathing. She knew that handwriting. She had seen it on old Christmas cards, on envelopes her father had kept hidden, on one letter that, according to everything she had been told, should never have existed. Elena Vale. Mari slowly raised her eyes. The man's expression changed. "You recognize it. It wasn't a question." Mari said nothing. He reached inside his jacket and placed a black card on the table. $1 million. The woman beside him gave a quiet laugh. Mari stared at the card, then at the envelope. $1 million could pay her mother's medical bills, finish her tuition, erase years of debt. But the envelope in front of her suddenly felt heavier than all of it. She looked at the man. "You don't need to pay me to read this." His smile disappeared. "Everyone has a price." Mari touched the envelope. "No." She pulled her hand back. "Not for this." The man's eyes narrowed. "Then, tell me what you see." Mari looked at the unfinished sentence visible through the fold. Her voice dropped. "I see a letter that was never supposed to reach you." Silence. The man leaned forward. "Why?" Mari met his eyes. "Because the person who wrote it died before she could finish it." His face went completely still. Mari looked at the envelope again. Then she said the one thing that made everyone at table 12 stop breathing. "Your mother didn't write this for you?" His smile disappeared. "How do you know who wrote it?" Mari swallowed. "I didn't say I knew her, but you recognized the handwriting." It wasn't a question. Mari looked toward the dining room. Her manager was near the bar, watching. She needed this job. She needed the tips. She needed every shift she could get. Her mother had a medical bill due next week. Her own tuition payment was already late. $1 million could change everything. She could pay the bills, finish school, move her mother into a better apartment. She could stop counting every $20 bill before going to sleep. But she knew something else. Money could also make people forget what mattered. Mari looked back at the envelope. "You don't need someone to read the letter." The man's eyes narrowed. "You need someone to tell you what it means." Nobody laughed this time. The man slowly sat back. "What does it mean?" Mari took a breath. "It means your mother was trying to tell the truth." The room seemed to shrink around them. The man's name was Adrian Vale. Most people in Manhattan knew it. His company owned hotels, commercial buildings, investment firms, and enough real estate to make his name appear in business newspapers almost every week. She had seen his face on magazine covers. She had never expected to meet him while carrying dirty dishes. And she certainly had never expected him to be holding a letter with her father's name somewhere inside its history. But she had never imagined meeting him like this. Not across a conference table, not at a charity gala, not on television, at table 12, while carrying dirty dishes. Adrian stared at her. What truth? Mari's fingers tightened around the edge of her tray. She should walk away. That was the smart thing. She had learned that lesson from her father. Smart people knew when to leave a dangerous room, but her father had also taught her something else. If a number didn't make sense, find the missing number. If a story didn't make sense, find the missing page. Mari looked at the envelope. Mari had learned to notice what other people missed. Accounting had taught her to look for missing numbers. Waiting tables had taught her to notice missing details. And tonight, something was missing from this letter. Adrian looked up. "Who are you?" "Mari." "That isn't what I asked." She hesitated. Marisol Reyes. Adrian's eyes changed again. The name meant something to him. Mari saw it happen. "You know my father?" Adrian said nothing. His friend looked between them. "Adrian?" Adrian ignored him. "What was your father's name?" Mari already knew the answer would matter. Daniel Reyes. The color left Adrian's face. His hand closed around the letter. Mari's heart began beating harder. Mari looked at the letter again. "You're not looking for someone to read it." Adrian's eyes narrowed. "What am I looking for?" "Someone who can tell you whether you're being lied to." Nobody at the table laughed. Mari pointed toward the final line. "The sentence stops here." Adrian looked down. There was no period, no signature beneath it, just a comma. He slowly unfolded the page farther. Nothing. His expression hardened. "Who else has seen this?" "I don't know." "Who told you about my mother?" "Nobody." "Then how did you recognize her handwriting?" Mari hesitated. Because the answer would bring her father into this, and once his name entered the room, there would be no walking away. She looked at Adrian. Because my father kept letters from her. Adrian went completely still. "Your father?" "Daniel Reyes." The color disappeared from his face. One of the men at the table whispered, "Adrian." But Adrian wasn't listening anymore. He was staring at Mari, as if the waitress in front of him had suddenly become someone else. "Say that name again." "Daniel Reyes." Adrian's hand tightened around the envelope. "You're his daughter." Mari nodded, and for the first time that night, Adrian looked frightened, not because she believed he was guilty, because she had been 16. And 16-year-olds didn't always know what adults were hiding. Her father died before she learned the truth, or before she learned whether there was a truth worth finding. Adrian slowly stood. "Where did you hear my mother's name?" Mari's voice was quieter now. "My father kept her letters." Adrian looked at the envelope, then at Mari. "Your father was a thief." Mari's face went still. The insult hurt, but not because she believed him, because she had heard those words before. From newspapers, from former co-workers, from neighbors, even from people who had once eaten dinner at their house. Mari placed her tray on the empty service station. "My father was not a thief." Adrian's jaw tightened. "You don't know what happened." "I know what happened to my family." "That isn't the same thing." No. Mari met his eyes. "It isn't." For a moment, neither moved. Adrian reached into his wallet. He placed another card on the table. $2 million. Mari stared at him. "You're serious?" "Yes." "For reading the letter?" "For telling me what you know." "I already told you." "No." His voice hardened. "You told me what you wanted me to hear." Mari looked at him. "And what do you think I know?" Adrian leaned closer. "The truth about my mother." Mari's fingers tightened around her tray. "And if I refuse?" "You walk away." She blinked. He continued, "With enough money to never work another shift again." That one almost broke her. Her mother's bills, her tuition, the apartment. Every $20 bill she counted before sleeping. $2 million could erase all of it. Mari looked at the card, then at Adrian. "You're not buying my silence." His expression changed. "What?" You're buying the part of me that knows this matters. She pushed the card back. I won't sell that. Adrian stared at her. Why? Mari picked up her tray. Because my father already lost everything once. She looked directly at him. I won't help you make him disappear twice. Adrian stared at her. Then he said something that made her stop. Your father wasn't the only one who lost something. Mari turned. What does that mean? Adrian looked down at the envelope. My mother wrote that letter 12 years ago. Mari frowned. You said she wrote it. She did. Then why are you looking at it like it scares you? Adrian didn't answer. Mari pointed at the handwriting. This handwriting is real. Yes, then what's wrong? Adrian finally looked at her. My mother had a stroke 12 years ago. Mari froze. She hasn't been able to write by hand since. Silence. Mari looked back at the envelope. Then someone is using her handwriting. Adrian shook his head. No. His voice was barely audible. That is what I'm afraid of. Mari's breath caught. She died? No. Mari waited. She had a stroke. Adrian's voice changed. She hasn't been able to write by hand since. Mari looked at the envelope, then at him. You're saying this handwriting is impossible. Adrian didn't answer. Mari slowly turned back. Then why is it here? That was the question neither of them could answer, not yet. Handrollermas, why? His answer was quiet. Because from this moment on, I don't think you're the only person looking for that letter. Mari's stomach tightened. Adrian's decision came faster than Mari expected. The manager looked uncomfortable. Mr. Vale, perhaps we can. She's suspended. Mari looked at him. For refusing a personal request. For creating a disturbance. Mari almost laughed. I didn't create anything. Adrian stood. You recognized a letter that should not exist. His voice was low enough that only she could hear. Now you're involved. Mari wanted to tell him he was wrong. She was a waitress. She had a shift to finish, rent to pay, and a mother waiting at home. But as she looked at the envelope in Adrian's hand, she knew he was right about one thing. She was involved now. But as she looked at the envelope in Adrian's hand, she knew that wasn't true anymore. The past had found her, and it had arrived at table 12. Hongrellers. That night, Mari came home after midnight. Her mother was awake. Rosa Reyes sat at the kitchen table in an old blue sweater. A bowl of rice sat untouched in front of her. You're late. I got suspended. Rosa's eyes lifted. Why? Mari put her bag down. I met someone. Her mother's face tightened. Who? Adrian Vale. The spoon in Rosa's hand stopped moving. Mari noticed. Mom? Rosa put the spoon down. What did he want? Mari reached into her bag. She had taken a photograph of the envelope before leaving the restaurant. She placed her phone on the table. Rosa looked at the screen. For several seconds, she didn't speak. Then her hand began to shake. Mari saw it. She had never seen her mother react to a name like that. What is it? Rosa looked away. Nothing. Mom, it's late. Who is Elena Vale? Rosa stood. Go to bed. Mari stared at her. Why are you scared? I am not scared. You are. Rosa turned toward the sink. Mari followed. Did Dad know her? No answer. Mom. Rosa closed her eyes. When she opened them, they were wet. Your father knew many people. Did he know Elena Vale? Yes. Mari's heart began pounding. How? Rosa didn't answer. Was she involved in what happened to him? Marisol, was Dad innocent? Her mother gripped the counter. The silence was answer enough. Mari stepped back. You knew. I suspected. You knew. I knew your father wasn't guilty. Mari's voice cracked. Then why did you let everyone believe he was? Rosa turned around. Why didn't you tell me? Rosa looked at her. Because I was afraid. Of Adrian? No, Rosa's eyes filled. Of everyone who had already destroyed your father. Mari went silent. Rosa continued. They didn't need to hurt me. They had already shown me what they could do. She looked toward the hallway, and I had 2 children. Mari's anger softened. Not disappeared, just changed. Her mother had not been protecting the truth. She had been protecting what remained of the family. You had Dad. Rosa flinched, and I lost him. The kitchen went quiet. Rosa wiped her eyes. You think I don't know what he deserved? Then why didn't you fight? Because fighting doesn't always bring people home. Mari stared at her. Rosa walked back to the table. When your father lost his job, people stopped calling. His friends disappeared. The bank called. The landlord called. We had no money. She sat down. Then Elena came. Mari slowly sat opposite her. What did she want? Nothing. She brought money. Mari felt cold. How much? Enough. Mom, Rosa looked down. She said it was for the children. Did you take it? Yes. Why? Because your father was sick. Rosa's voice broke. And because you were 16. Mari looked at the table. For years, she had imagined her mother as the one person who never knew the truth. Now she understood. Her mother had known enough, just not enough to save them. Or maybe she had known enough to choose survival. Mari's eyes filled. Why didn't you tell me? Rosa whispered. Because I wanted you to have a life. I could have handled the truth. No, Rosa looked at her. You were a child. Mari shook her head. I wasn't a child forever. No. Rosa reached across the table. You became an adult carrying something that wasn't yours. Mari pulled her hand back. What's in that letter? Rosa stared at her. What letter? The one Elena wrote. Her mother's face changed. You saw it? Yes. Rosa stood so quickly that the chair moved backward. Where? At the restaurant. Rosa's breathing became shallow. Did Adrian see it? Yes. Then you need to stay away from him. Why? Because he doesn't know everything. Mari stared. What does that mean? Rosa shook her head. Your father kept records. What records? I don't know. You said you knew he was innocent. I knew enough. Mom. Rosa looked toward the hallway, then back at her daughter. There was a room. Mari waited. In the old Vale Records building. What was in it? I don't know. You've been there? No. Then how do you know? Rosa's voice dropped. Your father told me. Mari felt the room tilt. What did he say? Rosa looked at her for a long moment. He said, if anything ever happened to him, I should never go looking. Why? He said the truth was dangerous. Mari almost laughed. My whole life, you told me Dad was unlucky. He was. Mari stood. He was betrayed. Rosa didn't deny it. Mari picked up her phone. I need to find that room. Rosa grabbed her wrist. Marisol, no. Mari looked down at her mother's hand, then back at her face. I'm not 16 anymore. Rosa released her. Mari walked toward the hallway. Behind her, Rosa whispered, neither is the man who did it. Mari stopped. She turned. What man? Rosa's eyes filled with fear. I don't know. That isn't what you meant. Rosa said nothing. Mari waited. Finally, her mother whispered, your father was afraid of Adrian's father. Mari's heart sank. Adrian's father had been dead for 8 years. But his decisions were still alive. And somewhere in New York, there might still be a room full of records proving why. Hanfrongres? The next morning, Mari met Ethan Cruz at a coffee shop near Columbia University. They had known each other for almost 10 years. They had met in an accounting class. Ethan had become a lawyer. Mari had left school. Life had separated them. But some friendships survived distance. Ethan listened without interrupting. When she finished, he didn't ask whether she was sure. He asked, "Do you have the letter? Know her photos?" "One." She showed him. He zoomed in, the envelope, the handwriting, the incomplete sentence, then the signature. "Elena Vale," he said. Mari nodded. Ethan looked at her. "You're sure that's her handwriting?" "Yes." "How?" "My father had a box." "What kind of box?" "Old letters. From her, some." Ethan studied her face. "You never told me this. I didn't know it mattered. It matters now." He zoomed in again. "There may be a date." Mari leaned closer. At the bottom of the envelope was a faded mark. December 14. No year, but beneath it was a sequence of numbers. Mari stared. She knew those numbers. Her father used them, not as a date, as an accounting reference. She grabbed a napkin, wrote them down. Ethan watched. "What is it?" "An account number." "Whose?" Mari looked at him. "I don't know." Then she remembered something. The incomplete sentence. The old records room. Her father's watch. She pulled a photograph from her phone. It showed Daniel Reyes sitting at a kitchen table. His old watch was visible on his wrist. On the back of the watch was a tiny engraving. A string of numbers. Ethan looked from the photo to the envelope. "That's the same number." Mari's pulse quickened. "No." "What?" "It isn't an account." She zoomed in. The numbers weren't complete. The final digit was scratched away. Mari looked at Ethan. "My father didn't lose the record," she whispered. "Someone removed it." Ethan leaned back. "Then we need to find out who." Mari looked through the coffee shop window. Outside, Manhattan moved like nothing had happened. Cars passed. People hurried to work. A delivery truck blocked the street for a moment. Ordinary life. But Mari knew better now. Her father had left behind a trail. Someone had spent 12 years making sure nobody followed it. And the first person to notice the trail was a waitress carrying dirty dishes. She didn't know where it would lead. She only knew one thing. She was going to follow it. Even if it cost more than $1 million. The first place they searched was not the old records building. It was a library. Ethan had found the address through a public property archive. The Vale Meridian Records building had been sold 7 years earlier. The company had moved its archives, then moved them again, then digitized most of them. But not everything. "Old companies are terrible at throwing things away," Ethan said. Mari looked at him. "You sound like you've done this before." "I've spent enough time around corporations to know they hide things badly." Mari almost smiled. "That's reassuring." "It isn't." She smiled despite herself. It was the first time she had smiled since the restaurant. Ethan noticed. He didn't mention it. They entered the library shortly after 9. Mari carried a notebook. Ethan carried a laptop. Neither carried $1 million check. That mattered. They spent 2 hours searching old corporate filings. Nothing. Then Ethan found a reference. Vale Holdings. Records transfer, 2015. He clicked it. A list appeared. Property files, tax documents, employment records, internal correspondence, and one category marked Restricted Historical Materials. Mari leaned closer. "What's that?" "Exactly what it sounds like." "Can we access it?" "Not without permission." Mari looked at him. "Then how do we get permission?" Ethan smiled. "Now you're thinking like a lawyer. I've been thinking like a waitress." "What's the difference?" "Waitresses ask for things politely." "And lawyers?" We send invoices. He laughed. The sound was small, but it made the room feel lighter. Then his expression changed. Mari. What? Look at the transfer date. She did, December 14, the same date written on Elena's envelope. Mari's smile disappeared. That can't be a coincidence. No. Ethan opened another document. The records had been transferred from the old building on December 14, 12 years earlier, the same day Daniel Reyes had been fired. Mari stared at the screen. That's the day Dad lost his job. Ethan nodded, and someone moved the records that same day. Mari sat back. Hongrailers. Across Manhattan, Adrian was investigating Mari, her school records, her financial history, her father's employment. Nothing suspicious. Nothing calculated. Nothing that explained why a waitress had recognized his mother's handwriting. Then he found one detail: accounting. Mari had studied it for 3 years. She left school because of family finances. Adrian closed the folder. She wasn't chasing money. She was chasing an answer. Adrian closed the folder. For the first time, he couldn't decide whether that made her dangerous or trustworthy. Find out what she knows, he said. The investigator nodded. And if she refuses? Adrian looked at Mari's photograph. Don't threaten her. The room went quiet. He surprised even himself. Then he added, just find the truth. His general counsel looked at him. That's not always true. Adrian turned. What did you say? I said sometimes people don't. Adrian studied him. For some reason, Mari's face appeared in his mind. Not frightened, not impressed, just disappointed. That bothered him more than fear would have. Honvengrillo. That afternoon, Mari received an envelope at her apartment. No return address. She almost threw it away. Then she saw her name, Marisol Reyes. Inside was a photocopy, 1 page, a payroll record. Her father's name appeared near the top. Below it was a handwritten note. He wasn't the only one who saw it. Mari read the sentence twice, then a third time. Her phone rang. Ethan. Did you get something? Mari froze. How did you know? Because I got something too. She waited. A photograph. What photograph? A storage room. Mari's stomach tightened. Where? I don't know. What's in it? A filing cabinet. That's it? No, Ethan's voice became serious. There's a person in the photo. Mari looked at the note. Who? I don't know yet. Send it. A message arrived. Mari opened the photograph. It showed a narrow room. Metal shelves. Boxes stacked against the walls. A fluorescent light. At the far end stood a man. His face was turned away. But Mari recognized the suit. She had seen it in old family photographs. Her father's employer. Adrian's father, Thomas Vale. Mari stared. Ethan called again. Are you there? Yes, that man is Thomas Vale. I know, and there's something else. Mari zoomed in. On the floor was a box, a white label. She could barely read it. D. Reyes. Internal review. Mari stopped breathing. That's Dad's file. Looks like it. But where was the photograph taken? Ethan was silent. Ethan? We're trying to find out. Mari looked at the date printed beneath the photograph. December 14. Again. The same day. The same number. The same trail. She sat down. For years, everyone had treated December 14 as the day Daniel Reyes became a disgraced man. Maybe it was actually the day someone buried the evidence. Honglera's. That evening, Adrian came to the restaurant. Mari was not working. He asked for her manager. The manager gave him the information he wanted. Then Adrian noticed something. The restaurant's security camera. He pointed toward it. When was yesterday's footage archived? The manager blinked. Yesterday? From table 12. Mr. Vale, we normally retain footage for 30 days. Good. I can have it sent to you. No. Adrian looked toward the empty dining room. I want to watch it here. 20 minutes later, the footage played. There was Mari, walking toward the table, carrying wine. There was the envelope. There was Adrian offering money. There was Mari refusing. Then something happened. Adrian paused the video. He leaned forward. Mari had touched the envelope. Not casually. She had touched the bottom corner. Then she had looked toward the restaurant entrance, as though she recognized something else. Adrian rewound, played it again, then again. What was she looking at? The manager didn't know. Adrian watched the entrance. A waiter walked through. A couple entered. A delivery driver passed. Nothing. Then Adrian saw it. The man standing near the coat check. An older man. Gray hair, dark coat. He had been watching Mari. Adrian paused the footage. Who is that? The manager looked. I don't know. Find out. Handgreelers. Mari didn't know about the man. She was sitting at her mother's kitchen table. The old photograph was in front of her. Rosa had seen it. Her face had gone pale. You know him, Mari said. Rosa shook her head. Mom, I've seen him. Where? Rosa looked at the photograph. At your father's funeral. Mari stared. What was he doing there? I don't know. You spoke to him? No. Then how do you remember him? Because your father told me about him. Mari leaned forward. What did Dad say? Rosa hesitated. He said there was a man inside the company who knew everything. Who? I never knew his name, but you know his face. Rosa closed her eyes. He came to the funeral and stood in the back. Why? I don't know. Mari's voice became softer. Mom, what are you not telling me? Rosa looked at her daughter. Then she stood. She walked to a cabinet, opened the bottom drawer, pulled out a small wooden box. Mari had seen it before, but never opened it. Rosa placed it on the table. This belonged to your father. Mari opened the lid. Inside were old receipts, a wedding photograph, a key, and a folded piece of paper. Mari picked it up. The paper was yellow with age. There was one sentence. There was one name her father had mentioned only once. She had never understood why. Miguel Santos. If Daniel disappears, find Miguel Santos. Mari looked at her mother. Who is Miguel Santos? Rosa whispered. I don't know. You've had this for 12 years. I was afraid. Of what? Rosa looked toward the window. Of the same thing your father was afraid of. Mari unfolded the paper completely. There was an address beneath the sentence. Queens, not far from where they lived. Mari looked at Ethan's name on her phone, then at her mother. I'm going. Rosa shook her head. Not tonight. Why? Because if someone left that note, they may know you have it. Mari stopped. For the first time, she considered something she had avoided since the restaurant. Maybe Adrian wasn't the only person watching her. Handgreelers. Miguel Santos lived above a small auto repair shop. He was 71, Filipino-American. Thin, gray hair, a faded baseball cap. When Mari showed him Daniel's photograph, he didn't invite her inside. He simply stared at the picture. Then at Mari. You're his daughter. Yes. Miguel looked down. I wondered when you'd come. Mari's heart dropped. You knew my father? Miguel nodded. 20 years. Were you his friend? I was his mistake. Mari didn't understand. Miguel opened the door. Come in. The apartment smelled like coffee and motor oil. There were photographs on the walls. One showed Miguel and Daniel standing outside an office building. Another showed Daniel beside Thomas Vale. Mari studied it. Miguel noticed. That was before. Before what? Before your father found the account. What account? Miguel sat down. The one that ruined him. Mari's pulse quickened. What did he find? Miguel looked at her. Money moving through 3 companies. Thomas Vale? Not directly. Then who? Miguel shook his head. That's what your father was trying to prove. Mari sat across from him. Why didn't he prove it? Miguel looked at the floor. Because someone changed the records. Who? I never found out. You were there. Yes, you knew my father was innocent. Miguel's eyes filled. I knew. Then why didn't you testify? Miguel's voice became barely audible. Because I had a daughter. Mari went still. The same answer, the same fear, the same silence. Miguel stood and walked to a cabinet. He returned with a small envelope. He placed it on the table. I kept this because I thought one day someone would come asking. Mari stared. What's inside? Your father gave it to me. Why? He said if anything happened, I should wait. Wait for what? Miguel looked directly at her. For his daughter to become old enough to understand. Mari opened the envelope. Inside was a single key, old brass. A number was engraved on it. 314. Her breath caught. Ethan's photograph flashed through her mind. The storage room, the filing cabinet, the old records building. Room 314, she whispered. Miguel nodded. Your father said that room contained the original ledger. Mari looked up. Where is it? Miguel's face changed. It isn't in the building anymore. Then where? Miguel leaned closer. Your father moved it. Mari's heart raced. Where? Miguel pointed at the key. Somewhere your family would never think to look. When Mari left, she called Ethan. He answered immediately. Did you find something? Yes. What? Room 314. Silence. Then, where? I don't know yet. What else? My father moved the ledger. That means there may still be an original. I know. Where? Mari looked at the key in her hand. Then at the street. A black SUV sat across from the building. Its engine was running. Mari stopped walking. The driver's face was hidden behind the windshield. Her phone was still against her ear. Ethan. What? I think someone followed me. Don't go home. Mari looked at the SUV. The vehicle moved, slowly, then turned the corner. She didn't know who the SUV belonged to. But she finally understood something. The letter wasn't dangerous because of what it said. It was dangerous because of where it could lead, and someone already knew she was following the trail. Mandarners. Across the city, Adrian received a phone call. His investigator spoke quietly. We found the man from the restaurant footage. Who is he? Miguel Santos. Adrian's expression changed. Are you sure? Yes. Where is he? Queens. Adrian stood. Get me everything on him. Already done. The investigator hesitated. There is something else. What? Miguel Santos worked with Daniel Reyes. Adrian waited. And he met with Mari today. Adrian closed his eyes. For the first time, the problem was no longer contained inside a letter. It was moving from Daniel to Mari to Miguel and possibly to him. Send me the file. There's one more thing. Adrian's voice hardened. What? The old records building had a room 314. Adrian went completely still. Was it destroyed? No, then why hasn't anyone mentioned it? Because the building was renovated. What's there now? The investigator paused. A private storage company. Adrian looked toward the city. How long has it been there? 10 years. Adrian did the math. Daniel had disappeared from the company 12 years ago. The building had been renovated 2 years later. Room 310 should have been emptied, unless someone had moved something before the renovation. Adrian's phone vibrated. A message arrived. A photograph. An old brass key. Room 314. Adrian stared at it. He remembered something his father had once told him. Not about Daniel. Not about money. About the records building. Never let anyone open the third-floor archive. Adrian had been 19 when he heard those words. He had forgotten them. Until now, he picked up his coat. His chief of staff looked at him. "Where are you going?" Adrian answered without looking back. "To find out what my father was afraid of." Hähnenglärers. The next morning, Mari woke before sunrise. She didn't sleep much. She kept thinking about the black SUV, about Miguel, about her father, about the $1 million. She had started this because a CEO had tried to humiliate her. Now she was standing at the edge of a story that could destroy one of America's wealthiest families. She looked at her mother's sleeping room. Then, at the brass key, she slipped it into her pocket. Ethan was waiting downstairs. He had brought coffee. Mari took it. "You look terrible. So do you. Good." He smiled. She didn't. "I need to tell you something." "What?" "I saw a car following me." Ethan's expression changed. "Did you get the plate?" "No, that's okay." He handed her his phone. "I sent everything to a secure drive." Mari looked at him. "You think this is dangerous?" "Yes." "You're scared?" "Yes." The honesty surprised her. "You could walk away." "I could." "Why aren't you?" Ethan looked at her. "Because you shouldn't have to do this alone." Mari looked down. For a moment, neither spoke. Then she smiled. "That's the first smart thing you've said today. I've said several smart things." "You brought me coffee." "Exactly." She laughed. This time it lasted longer. Then her phone rang. "Unknown number," Mari answered. "Hello?" A man's voice came through. "You need to stop looking." Mari froze. Ethan watched her. "Who is this?" "You know what happened to your father?" "No, you know enough." Mari tightened her grip on the phone. "What do you want?" "Nothing." The man paused. "I want you to stay alive." The line went dead. Mari slowly lowered the phone. Ethan stood. "What did he say?" She looked toward the street. "He said to stop looking." Ethan's jaw tightened. "Then we're definitely looking." Mari looked at him. She expected fear. Instead, she saw determination. She reached into her pocket, pulled out the brass key, and closed her hand around it. Room 314. Ethan nodded. They started walking. Neither noticed the black sedan parked half a block away. Inside it, Adrian watched them leave. He had heard the call. He had seen Mari's reaction. And for the first time since this began, he was no longer sure who needed to be stopped. Mari, his father's enemies, or himself. The old Vale building stood 12 blocks from the river. It looked nothing like the photographs. The glass entrance was gone. The marble lobby had been replaced by gray tile. A sign above the door read, "Harbor Lock Storage." Mari stopped across the street. "That used to be Vale Meridian?" Ethan nodded. "According to the property records." She looked at the building again. "Doesn't look like a place hiding anything." "That's usually the point." They waited until a delivery truck blocked the security camera. Then they crossed. Inside, a young receptionist looked up. "Can I help you?" Ethan smiled. "We're here about an old storage unit. Do you have the unit number?" Mari reached into her pocket. The brass key felt cold. 314. The receptionist frowned. "We don't have a unit 314. Mari and Ethan exchanged a look. "Are you sure?" Ethan asked. The receptionist checked her computer. No. Mari placed the key on the counter. We found this. The receptionist stared at it, then her face changed. Where did you get that? My father. What's his name? Daniel Reyes. The woman immediately stopped smiling. She looked toward the back hallway, then toward the security office. Wait here. She disappeared. Ethan leaned toward Mari. That was interesting. Mari nodded. Very. 30 seconds passed. Then a man in a gray shirt came through the hallway. He was older, maybe 60. He looked at the key, then at Mari. Who gave you this? My father, Daniel Reyes? Yes. The man's expression hardened. You need to leave. Mari didn't move. Why? Because that key doesn't belong to you. My father gave it to someone. Then find that person. He's dead. The man went silent. Mari watched him carefully. You knew him. The man looked away. I knew a lot of people. No, then why are you afraid of this key? The man didn't answer. Ethan stepped forward. We're not here to cause trouble. The man looked at him. You already did. Then the fire alarm sounded. Everyone froze. A red light began flashing. The receptionist shouted from the lobby. Smoke! The man turned toward the hallway. Mari saw him move. Not toward the exit. Toward the back room. Toward the old archive. She grabbed Ethan's arm. Follow him. They ran. The hallway was filling with smoke. The man reached a metal door. He pulled a key from his pocket. Mari saw the number, 314. Her heart slammed against her ribs. Stop! The man turned. His face showed pure panic. Then he opened the door. Mari rushed inside. The room was small. Old filing cabinets lined the walls. Most were empty. One stood against the far wall. Its lock had been broken. The man ran toward it. Mari reached him first. She grabbed the drawer. He pulled back. Don't! Why? You don't understand. Then explain. He looked at her. My name is Victor Hale. Mari stared. The name sounded familiar. Ethan's eyes widened. Victor Hale? The older man nodded. I worked for Thomas Vale. Mari's stomach tightened. You were there. Yes, on December 14th. Victor looked at her. I was there. What happened? Victor swallowed. Your father found the ledger. Mari stepped closer. What ledger? The original one. Where is it? Victor looked toward the broken cabinet. Gun. Mari's heart sank. Who took it? Victor's lips parted. Before he could answer, the door slammed shut. Someone had locked them inside. Smoke pushed under the door. Ethan coughed. That's not good. Victor looked terrified. They found us. Mari grabbed the handle. It wouldn't move. Who? Victor looked at her. The same people who came for your father. A loud crash came from the hallway. Then, another. Someone was breaking through the building. Mari pulled out her phone. No signal. Ethan tried his. Nothing. The smoke grew thicker. Victor stumbled backward. Mari shouted, Where is the ledger? Victor looked at her. Then at the floor. There was a second copy. Where? Your father hid it. Where? Victor hesitated. Mari grabbed his shoulder. Tell me. Victor whispered. Your father's house. Mari froze. We never had a house. Victor shook his head. Not the house where you lived. Another crash. The door shook. Victor pointed towards a shelf. Behind the wall, Mari and Ethan looked at each other. Ethan found a metal bar. He smashed the drywall. Once. Twice. A hollow sound came back. There. They pulled away the broken panel. Behind it was a narrow compartment. Inside sat a metal box. Mari reached for it. The moment her fingers touched the box, the door burst open. Smoke flooded the room. A man in black rushed inside. He grabbed the box. Mari held on. Let go. No. He pulled harder. Mari slipped. Ethan tackled him. The box fell. Victor shouted, "Get out!" Ethan grabbed Mari. They ran. Behind them, the room filled with smoke. They reached the stairwell. Mari coughed violently. A hand suddenly closed around Mari's wrist. She screamed and tried to pull away. "Mari!" She turned. Adrian. He pulled her toward the exit. "What are you doing here?" "Saving your life. I don't need you." "You do right now." Ethan appeared behind them. "You have got to be kidding me." Adrian looked at him. "Take her outside. What about you? I'll handle this." Mari stared at Adrian. "Why?" He didn't answer. "Why are you helping me?" Adrian looked toward the burning archive. Mari stopped breathing. For a moment, the alarms disappeared. The smoke disappeared. Everything disappeared except those words, "Because I think my father destroyed yours." Mari stared at him. "What?" "I don't know if he ordered it." Adrian looked toward the burning archive. "But I know he knew." Mari's anger faltered. "You knew?" "I knew my father lied." Mari stared at him. "And you never asked why?" "You said," "I said I think he was responsible." Mari stared at him. "You knew. No, you knew something." "I knew my father lied." Her anger faltered. Adrian stepped closer. "He told me Daniel stole from the company." "And you believed him?" "I was 19. So was I." The words hit him. Mari's voice broke. "You had a father protecting you." "I know. I had one being destroyed." Adrian looked away. For the first time, there was no CEO in his face. Only a son. A son realizing his father's legacy had been built on someone else's suffering. "I know," he said. "No." Mari shook her head. "You don't." She turned away. Adrian caught her eye. "There is something else." Mari stopped. "The letter wasn't meant for me." "What?" "My mother didn't write it to me." "Then who?" Adrian looked at her. "Your father." Mari's chest tightened. "Then why did you have it?" "My mother kept it hidden." "From you?" "From everyone." "Why?" Adrian reached into his coat. He pulled out a photograph. Mari stared. It showed Elena Vale sitting beside Daniel Reyes. Not at work, not at a corporate event, in a hospital room. Daniel looked exhausted. Elena looked terrified. On the back was a handwritten sentence. "If anything happens to me, Daniel knows where the second ledger is." Mari looked up. "Your mother knew." Adrian nodded. "She knew your father was innocent. Then why didn't she say anything?" "She tried." He handed Mari the letter. "The missing pages explain why." Mari stared at the envelope. "Where are they?" Adrian's face became grim. "My father had them." "Had?" "He died 8 years ago." Mari looked at him. "Then they're gone." "No." Adrian took a breath. "They were found last night." "Where?" "In my father's private safe." Mari's eyes widened. "You opened it?" "Yes." "What did they say?" Adrian looked at her. "They named the person who stole the money." Mari waited. "And?" "He wasn't my father." Silence. "Who was it?" Adrian looked toward Ethan, then back at Mari, the company's chief financial officer. Mari's mind raced. "That doesn't make sense." "It does when you see the numbers." "Where are they?" Adrian reached inside his jacket. He removed several documents. Ethan took them. His eyes moved across the pages, then stopped. "This isn't theft." Adrian nodded. "What is it?" "Fraud." Ethan looked up. "Much bigger." Mari stepped closer. "How big?" Ethan swallowed. "Hundreds of millions." Mari stared at the documents. "Where did the money go?" Adrian answered, "Political donations." Mari looked at him. "Through shell companies." "And your father?" He covered it. "Why?" Adrian's voice was bitter. "Because the people involved could destroy the company." Mari shook her head. "So my father took the blame." "Yes, for them, yes, and your mother knew." "Yes." Mari looked down. Her hands were shaking. Not from fear, from anger. 12 years. 12 years of being called the daughter of a thief. 12 years of watching her mother struggle. 12 years of believing her father died ashamed. All because powerful people wanted the truth buried. Mari looked at Adrian. "Why did you bring the letter to that restaurant?" He hesitated. "My mother died 3 weeks ago." Mari's expression softened slightly. "She left it for me." "What did she tell you?" "She said I needed to find the girl." Mari froze. "What girl?" Adrian looked directly at her. "You." The fire department arrived 10 minutes later. The building was evacuated. Police officers questioned everyone. The man who had attacked them was gone. So was Victor Hale. Mari watched firefighters carry equipment inside. Ethan stood beside her. Adrian remained several feet away. For once, he wasn't giving orders. He was waiting. Mari looked at him. "You offered me $1 million. Yes. You thought money would make me cooperate. Yes. Why?" Adrian gave a tired smile. "Because money is how I solve problems. And now?" He looked at the burned building. "Now, I know the problem isn't money." Mari studied him. That was the first honest thing he'd said. Her phone rang. It was her mother, Mari answered. "Mom?" Rosa's voice was shaking. "Where are you?" "I'll come home." "No, what? Don't come home." Mari's heart dropped. "Why?" "I found something." "What?" Rosa breathed heavily. "Your father's old suitcase." Mari stared at Ethan. "What about it?" "I opened the lining, and I found another letter." Mari's pulse quickened. "From Dad?" No, Rosa's voice became almost a whisper. "From Elena." Mari closed her eyes. "What does it say?" "I haven't read it." "Why?" "Because your father's name is on the outside." Mari swallowed. "Read it." Rosa went silent. Then she said, "Marisol, I think you need to come home." Mari looked at Adrian. He was watching her. She didn't know why, but something told her the next letter would change everything. Again. Hongrengliers. 20 minutes later, Mari returned home. Rosa was sitting at the kitchen table. The suitcase lay open. Inside was an old blue envelope. Mari sat down. Her mother pushed it toward her. "You read it." Mari touched the paper, then stopped. There was something written beneath her father's name. 5 words, for the daughter he protected. Mari looked at Rosa. Her mother started crying. "I never knew." Mari opened the letter. The first line made her stop. "Marisol, if you're reading this, your father failed to keep you away from the truth." Mari's breath caught. She read the next sentence. "That means someone has finally found the ledger." She looked at Ethan, then at Adrian. The letter continued, "But the ledger is not the evidence." Mari's fingers tightened. "It is the reason they will come after you." She read the final paragraph, and then her entire understanding of her father changed. Because Daniel had not been trying to hide the ledger, he had been trying to protect something else. Someone else. A child. A child whose name appeared at the bottom of the letter. Mari stared at it. She knew the name. Everyone in New York knew it. She slowly looked at Adrian. Adrian. He stepped closer. "What?" Mari turned the letter around. His eyes fell on the name. His face went completely white. The room went silent because the child Daniel Reyes had protected 12 years ago was Adrian Vale's daughter. Adrian's phone vibrated. A photo appeared on the screen. A little girl in a hospital bed smiled weakly at the camera. Adrian looked at the photo for a second before locking his phone. "Everything okay?" his friend asked. "My daughter," Adrian said. "She's fine." Adrian stared at the letter. "My daughter?" Mari nodded. That is what it says. No. His voice was almost a whisper. She was 3. I know. She couldn't have known Daniel. Maybe she didn't. Mari looked at the letter. Maybe he knew her. Adrian went still. Rosa finally spoke. Your daughter was sick. Adrian looked at her. What does that have to do with Daniel? Everything. Rosa's voice trembled. Your father used her illness to control him. Adrian stopped breathing. What? Daniel had evidence. Of what? Rosa looked at Mari, then at Adrian. The money wasn't the whole story. Silence. It was connected to the foundation. Adrian's face changed. My mother's foundation? Rosa nodded. Daniel discovered that someone was selling private medical information. Adrian sat down. His entire expression changed. He tried to expose them, Rosa said. Your father stopped him. How? Rosa looked at Adrian. He gave Daniel a choice. Adrian's voice cracked. What choice? Take the blame. She paused. Or Lily loses access to the treatment she needed. Adrian closed his eyes. For 12 years, he had believed his father protected the family. Now he understood. His father had used his daughter to destroy another man's life. Adrian whispered, I became him. Mari didn't answer. Adrian looked at her. I became him. No. Mari's voice was calm. You became what you thought you had to become. He stared at her. That doesn't excuse it. No. She shook her head. But it means you can choose differently. Adrian looked down. For the first time, Mari didn't see a billionaire or a CEO. She saw a son realizing his entire identity had been built on a lie. Hafangramly. That next morning, Adrian called an emergency board meeting. He walked in carrying the evidence. Bank transfers, shell companies, medical records, names, dates. Everything his father had buried. We are opening an independent investigation. The CFO stood. You'll destroy the company. Adrian looked at him. If the company survives by hiding crimes, it deserves to be destroyed. Silence. Notify federal investigators. His general counsel stared at him. Adrian, today, and the Reyes family? Adrian looked down at Daniel's name. They deserve the truth. Hannenbaumels. 3 days later, the evidence was in federal hands. The letters, the photographs, Daniel's records. The key. Miguel Santos came forward. Victor Hale did too. Piece by piece, the truth became impossible to bury. Daniel accepted the blame to protect his family. And for 12 years, fear had done what money alone could not. It had kept everyone silent. And slowly, the story became clear. Daniel had discovered the fraud. Elena had tried to expose it. Thomas Vale had buried the truth, and Daniel had paid the price. Daniel accepted the blame to protect his family. Elena hid the evidence. Then her stroke left the truth buried for 12 years. Not because they didn't know, because they were afraid. That was the truth. Hohenheimers, the hardest part came afterward. The Reyes family name was restored. Daniel's conviction was formally cleared. His old employer issued a public apology. The companies established a scholarship in his name, but Mari refused to let them turn him into a symbol. He was a person, she said. He made mistakes. He was scared. He was a father. That is enough. The apology was broadcast publicly. For the first time, people heard Daniel Reyes's name without the word thief beside it. Rosa watched from home. She cried, not because the past had changed. It hadn't. But because people finally understood it. 6 months later, Mari returned to school. She completed her accounting degree. Vale Meridian offered her a position. Mari turned it down. Adrian wasn't surprised. You still don't trust us? He asked. I trust myself now, she said. and she joined an independent financial oversight firm instead. Instead, Mari accepted a position at an independent financial oversight firm. Her job was investigating corporate fraud. The irony wasn't lost on her, neither was the lesson. She had once thought numbers were about money. Now she knew better. Numbers could hide people. Numbers could protect people. Numbers could destroy families, and sometimes numbers could tell the truth. Hohengrallers. Adrian changed too. He stepped down as CEO, not because he was forced, because he chose to. He created an independent foundation in his daughter's name. No Vale family member controlled it. No private medical information could be accessed through it. Every dollar was publicly audited. When reporters asked why he had done it, he gave one answer: "My family benefited from silence." Then he paused. "I don't want another family paying for it." Hollerngrummer. He reached across the table. This time she took his hand. No cameras, no reporters, no $1 million offer. Just two people making a choice. 1 year later, Mari stood on a stage at Columbia University. The auditorium was packed. Students sat shoulder to shoulder. Professors lined the front row. Rosa sat near the aisle. Ethan sat beside her. Adrian sat several rows behind them. Mari had been invited to speak about financial ethics. She had almost declined. Then she remembered how many people had once told her that her story didn't matter. She accepted. She stood behind the podium. For a moment, she looked at the audience. Then she began. "My father taught me something about numbers." The room became quiet. He said numbers never lie. She smiled. "But people can." A few students laughed softly. Mari continued. "For a long time, I thought his lesson was about accounting." She looked toward Rosa. It wasn't. It was about people. She told them about assumptions, about power, about reputation, about what happens when someone is judged before anyone checks the evidence. She didn't tell them everything. Some stories belonged to families. Some pain didn't need an audience. But she told them enough. Then she said, "Never confuse being poor with being powerless." The room went silent. "And never confuse being wealthy with being right." Applause began. It grew. Mari stepped away from the podium. Her mother was crying. Ethan was standing. Adrian was standing too. But Mari's eyes went to one person, Lily, now older, healthy, sitting beside Adrian. The girls smiled. Mari smiled back. That was the reward. Not the company, not the apology, not the money, not even the justice. A family that had once been divided by fear had finally found a way to stand in the same room. Hohengrallers. After the ceremony, Lily approached Mari. She held something behind her back. "I have something for you," Mari smiled. "What is it?" Lily handed her a small envelope. Mari stared. The handwriting was familiar, but not Elena's. Not Daniel's. Lily's. Mari opened it. Inside was a drawing. 4 people stood beneath a large yellow sun. Lily, Adrian, Mari, and Rosa. At the bottom, Lily had written. Mari looked at the drawing, then at Lily, then at Adrian. For a moment, she remembered Table 12, the envelope, the $1 million, the woman she had been before she opened it. She had thought she was only reading a letter. She hadn't known she was opening a door into her father's truth, into her mother's fear, into a family built on secrets, and, eventually, into a life she had never imagined. Adrian reached for her hand. She took it. No money, no bargain, no conditions, just a choice. And that had always been worth more than $1 million. Asterisk, because some things can be bought. Asterisk, dignity cannot. Asterisk, and love must always be chosen. Asterisk.